right, I've decided to bring some new life into this jet ski, and I don't have the money to put a crankshaft in it, so what I'm gonna do is put my 650 in there, suggested by the Jet Ski Brothers. I thought I would give you guys a little bit of a before look. The inside of this hull is extremely nasty. I've already started to clean it up, but the whole thing basically looked like this. And so I'm going over it with a scrub brush, soap and water, and hope that makes it a little bit nicer to work on and look pretty. This is certainly not going to be a how-to, but this is the engine that I'm putting in the whatever it is, the XISS, and it needs the 750 manifold, or the easiest way to do this for me, I believe, is going to be to put the 750 manifold on. I also need to put these longer studs in because the 650 manifold uses shorter studs. So I will put these longer ones in and then blast this on. And then I got to put the bed plate on. I'm using the bed plate that came with the 750. I was going to use my old 650 one, but it has a crack and it is not painted. So I kind of wanted to keep this one because it was in really good shape, but I'll just use it on this. I'm going to remove this modified head and install an OEM 650 head because I don't want to deal with the tuning issues that will come along with this. And quite honestly, I might keep this and just hang it on my wall because it's almost a piece of art. It's a bit of a mess because I did just pull it off of the engine, but this is what it looks like. It has the O-ring grooves with homemade copper O-rings, and reworked squish band and combustion chambers. I now have the bed plate installed. I also installed the head. I'll flip it over and show you guys that as well. And there it is from the other side. We got the head installed. So now I think I just need to install the starter motor and I can drop it into the hull. It's not perfect, but it is a whole lot better. This is what it looks like in the front. This is what it looks like inside of the hull here. A million times better, not perfect. Perfection isn't what we're going for here. I'm starting to prepare the hull a little bit to put the engine in, and so I removed all of the 750 electronics, or as much as I could, removed the e-box, and it has a temperature sensor which goes onto a bracket here. I removed that. This line goes to the pisser through the that temperature sensor, and it comes out of the elbow on the exhaust and goes into there. So I'm just gonna go, I got this little joiner in there, or whatever that's called, and yeah, the water will just take the same path that it did before. I just pulled the water separator off, and in here is quite possibly some of the worst smelling fuel I've ever smelled in my entire life. So I'm gonna get rid of it. Got a bucket of waste oil here. Very careful not to spill it anywhere because it is nasty. I was thinking about using the oil injection system on this because the system seemed to be working okay on the 750. However, the intake manifold in this, for starters, only has one fitting, and I've already blocked off that fitting. The 650 only has one fitting here. Oh, you guys can't see that. And I've blocked it up with some JB Weld. So it looks like this is going to be a mixer, so that means I can remove the oil injection tank and get rid of all of that nonsense. I just dropped the engine in place. Slid in pretty easily once I used the right cushion. I was trying to use an 1100 one because I couldn't find the 650 one, and then I realized that I put this box of stuff over here. So bright outside. It's one of the hottest days of the year so far. I think it's 27 Celsius, something like that. And I'm out working in the sun on that. Wow, the camera can't even, there we go. That's how bright it is. Anyway, you should record everything you do, folks, because I just had something that would have been hilarious for you guys to watch. I I'm ready. I was just about to film a clip and show you guys. I've got the engine in and I'm ready to put the exhaust in. And I'm trying to figure out the exact order of what to do it because I've never done it on one of these before. And so I think the next step is to put that part of the exhaust in. And I've had it sitting out here. I've had it sitting out here for, I don't know, a month and a half since I took the engine out. And it's been sitting the other way up. And I went and grabbed it, picked it up, and went to look in it. Fortunately, it didn't get me in the face, but all the oily water that was sitting in the pipe came out and went all over my shirt. I've replaced my shirt now, but it went on my shorts. Would have been hilarious for you guys to see, but unfortunately I wasn't recording it. So I've got the engine installed, bolted down. I'm ready to put the exhaust in. I put the 650 electronics in there. The 650 electronics are very simple. So I think what I'm going to do is actually go ahead with the rest of it and figure the electronics out as I go, because I don't think it's going to be a problem. All I need is to run wire from the voltage regulator to the battery, and then I'm going to have to figure out a starter relay because currently I don't have one. I'll probably just use a tractor one because it's worked for me very well and they're very cheap to replace. So then the other thing that I need is just the kill switch, and it has this weird kill relay thing. I forget exactly how this is wired, but I'll figure it out. So this is the original carb that came on the 650 engine. Seemed to have issues on it before, but I'm going to try it again. So I've got this bracket, I'm hoping that works. I've got the velocity stack attached, which should allow me to put an air filter on it to keep water out, hopefully. I'm going to have to get a primer. I don't have a primer, so I'll have to order that, which I guess I'll order two and put one on that at the same time. I got a bunch more stuff done. I got the carburetor installed. Decided I'm going to run the throttle cable on this side. That way you can get to the adjusters more easily. And the fuel lines go straight into this side. I've got the fuel lines on. Still have to hook up the pulse line. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. And I've also got to shorten the throttle cable a bit. So I've made a little kink in it here. That's where I'm going to slide the end down to. Got my portable vise outside, so I'm going to clamp down onto the cable here, heat this up, slide it down, and re-solder it into place. Definitely not the prettiest work I've ever done, but it's on there and it's gonna work. So let's hook it up. All right, folks, I've cleaned up some of my tools. I'm kind of winding down for the day. The end of day one. I haven't worked on it all day, but I spent quite a bit of time cleaning it out. Got the engine in, and I just turned it over. It has fire. I'm just leaning the ground against there and leaning the spark plugs on the cylinders. I turned it over just by jumping the starter directly, so I don't have a relay hooked up yet. This is the relay I'm going to be using. It's a tractor relay, and I think I'm going to just put it somewhere in here where it's very easy to get to. I need to find a place to mount the coil and the voltage regulator, and then I need to hook up the start and stop buttons. Also, the trim isn't working. I don't know if the trim actually worked before. I didn't try it, but I think the engine has to be running at a certain speed. The engine at least has to be running before this will work. So I might look at a wiring diagram and see if I can jump something or trick it, because I don't have the original CDI, obviously. Oh, my cat just almost got a squirrel. Did you get him, Quasar? Or did he almost get you? Anyway, I might just hook it up so that it overrides the ECU and works directly off the button. The problem rather then is that you could burn it out by just holding down on the button or holding up on the button. So I don't know if there's limiter switches in there. I don't even know if it works. So I might go through a bunch of trouble to try to make it work, and then it wouldn't work anyway, because The motor might be burnt out or just full of water or something. Man, I am losing my mind. I had some big battery connectors, and even though they shouldn't be there, I put them in the drawer with my pliers. I think because there were crimp pliers in here. Oh. I was gonna say, and then I moved them because I was like, that's not a good place. It's a good thing I started filming this. I've been looking for these for an hour. I took 2 trips in my truck. I've looked all over the garage. Thanks, guys. I've been working on the XI Super Sport a little bit longer, and I've got the wire from the relay to the battery, and this wire that will go to the charge wire from the voltage regulator. The voltage regulator is currently just sitting over here. That's a spark plug. This is the voltage regulator. So I need to mount this somewhere and then run this wire to the battery. I also need to ground this wire and to mount the coil, and then I need to hook up the starter button and the kill button. It is very hot outside today. That's where I'm wearing a hat and sunglasses. I've been doing some work on the 650-750 swap. I've got a starter relay. I don't know what I showed you guys last actually, so I'll go show you, and I'm gonna try to start it. I don't have a kill switch hooked up, so I'm not gonna run fuel into it just in case it runs away or something. I'm just gonna spray a little bit of brake clean into the carburetor and see if it fires at all. It looks like it has spark, so I need to figure out which spark plug wire goes where because it's not obvious now that I've taken these coils out of an X2 and they're just sitting in this hall. So let's go look. Since you guys saw it last, I decided to put this bracket on top here just so I'd have a place to mount some other stuff. Probably didn't need to, but figured it was a good idea. I've got the start button hooked up. I tied into the wires here, so we've got a wire going to our starter relay, one going to the voltage regulator. I just tied them in together because they're essentially the same thing, feeding power. Yeah, anyway, they tie into the same thing, so I tied them in together. And yeah, I already mentioned that. These are the kill wires. I don't have them hooked up yet, but when I install the key, let's see here. Install the key, hit the start button. So it has some fire. Seems a bit weak, but let's see if it does anything. It might backfire because I don't know if they're hooked up right. That sounds like it might actually run. Alright folks, I put some fuel in it and choked it a little bit with my hand. Let's fire it up and see what it sounds like. That sounds good. Quiet, but good. Yes, this is annoying. I got the jet ski running and then I wired it all up to try to turn it off and it wouldn't turn off. So I checked my wiring and I had the wiring all right. And then I touched the wire that's supposed to shut it off, which is the black white coming out of the coil, and it wouldn't shut off. So I checked the resistance and it's a bad connection. Turns out the wiring is completely rotten. It's actually like dust came out of it when I cut it off here. I was going to try to solder it on from the outside of the coil, but I couldn't get any decent wire to solder to. So I've cut away at a bunch of the potting silicone here, and you can kind of see the wire down in there. I'm going to have to dig away at it a little bit more because I'm going to have to get at that wire. So this is where I'm at. The black yellow wire is still in place. I had to cut this one out of the way to gain access to the kill wire. I nicked whatever this green thing is, probably a capacitor, but I don't think I did any damage, so that should be fine. I'm going to solder this wire on here, try to put this back together, and then probably after I test it, plop a bunch of epoxy in there, or JB Weld. It is sort of ready for the water. I still have to button a few things up. I put the seat on to record that last clip to show you guys how much quieter it is. I'm not sure how much work I'm gonna do to pretty it up because let's be honest, it is quite rough. But yeah, I have a running ski. I still need to tidy up some of that wiring and make sure that I don't get any shorts or anything like that. It did just refuse to start on me. I'm not sure if it's the way I moved the wires or if I had done something, I don't know. It might be a bad connection at one of the bolt connectors. But yeah, I'm gonna have to do a lot of starting of the engine and wiggling of those wires to be confident before I actually take it out to the water, because I don't want to pull it all the way up to the lake and then have it not start on me. But yeah, it should be interesting to see how this works with a 650 in it. This was actually recommended to me by the Jet Ski Brothers, who have done this a few times, so thanks guys for that. It was quite an easy swap and a lot easier than putting an 1100 in an X2. But anyway, yeah, hopefully the next thing you guys see is me taking this thing out to the lake. And back to a regularly scheduled program of rain and chilly weather. I guess I shouldn't complain because it was pretty intensely hot there for a little while. I'm not sure how long this rain is gonna last. That's gonna do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. The plan for this ski is to take it out to Pine Coulee, make sure that it is fun and reliable, and then sell it off to somebody so that they can enjoy it and so that I can recoup some of my money. Then I can put that money into other projects, like the X2. Also, I am planning on doing something similar with the 1100 ZXi. I don't have an engine for it yet, but something might come along. I was planning on putting the engine out of my Toyota Tercel into it at the first of the season, but it turned out that would have been quite a project, a difficult project, and probably would have cost me more than I could have ended up making off of the ski. It would have been a lot of fun, but I sold the car off. Anyway, the next thing that you guys will probably see will be me out at Pine Coulee testing this ski, the 650-750 XISS. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Oh my god! Ah! It wouldn't steer! Oh my god, this thing is horrid. I mean, it's wonderful. You should buy it.